So today we are looking at the Linux Lite 7.2 RC1. So this is the release candidate 7.2 of Linux Lite. So let me quickly boot it in the live boot. So here you can see the options of in the boot menu, like a boot Linux Lite, direct install, compatibility mode, check for file corruption, reboot and shutdown. So if you want to always boot in live boot, you can choose the first option. So if you want to install right from here, so you can directly install it here. And if you ask me, I'm always going to recommend you to first try the live boot first, because if you have any bugs, it's going to ruin the PC. So that's the reason it's always a good option. Try the live boot, and also you should be seeing the installer application available in the live boot, so you don't need to worry about the installation. So let's quickly boot it in the live boot. So this is the release candidate 1. So the ISO file is just released like 15-20 minutes ago. So as soon as the ISO file is released, I am making a video. So if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe, because I'll be posting 2 videos daily. So already posted videos like 2-3 hours ago. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out in my channel. And about what it is based on and the desktop environment and all those things, like new features and all those things, I'm going to discuss all those things as soon as the desktop layout is loaded. So the booting process will take a few seconds or maybe minutes sometimes. So the duration will take like almost like 1 minute to 3 minutes. So it clearly depends on every Linux distro. So as soon as the desktop layout is loaded, and I'm going to mention how much of time it consumed. So let it load. And also I'm running it on the virtual machine, which is a VMware with 60 GB of virtual disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So before continuing with the video, I want to mention that one thing, that in the live boot or in the virtual machines, there will be some minor hiccups here and there, like a kind of laggy thing usually. So most of the Linux distros doesn't have that type of issues, but some rare Linux distros will have issues like a minor lag. And the same distro, if you try it in the bare metal, it's going to be performing way better. So you need to understand that virtual machines will be having some issues, whether it's VirtualBox or VMware. Sometimes VirtualBox plays properly without any issues. Sometimes VMware without issues, it's going to perform properly. So I'm just going to give you some information. So that's the reason I want to mention that. So it's almost about to boot. So let's wait and see how much of time it's going to take. So here is our desktop layout. So it took almost 2 minutes 40 seconds to load up the desktop layout. So here you can see the welcome screen without complete, it's completely blank, complete white. So I'm just going to close everything, and let's change the VMware resolution also. My monitor is 1920 x 1080. So before going to the internet and all those things, like a website and all those things, let's check the system monitor. Let's see how much of resources it's consuming. So CPU, we need to run like 60 seconds in order to see whether the graph of CPU is pretty much stable or not. So again, this is a release candidate, so ISO file, so it's going to take a bit of lag, or maybe also some delay, because it's an unstable version. So you need to understand some basic things, like even if it's a beta version, you should be seeing there is a delay, and also the booting process may take a bit more when compared to the stable. Sometimes it will be okay, but sometimes there will be some issues. So the RAM right now, it's consuming like this. So it's using 1.5 GB. So the Xfce desktop environment is the desktop environment. So available is 6.2 GB. So capacity 7.7, used is 1.5. So here is the RAM. These are all the processes running as soon as you boot up. So these are all the processes running right now. And about the users, as you can see, there is again a delay. And here is the startup, services, systems, and all those things. Let's go with the startup. So when you click on the users, it's not showing anything. Let's go to the services. So again, there is a lag. So that's the reason I mentioned in the beginning, there will be some issues. It's a release candidate version, so you should be seeing some bugs sometimes. Here is the startup. So I kept everything as a default, I didn't change anything. So let's go to the system and get some additional information. So it says as a Linux Lite 7.2, I'm running it on the VMware. and the kernel version you get is a 6.8.0, which is the same kernel version in the 24.04.1 Noble Numbet Ubuntu. So the windowing system is X11 and the desktop environment is Xfce, and here is complete information. So I'm going to keep it on the performance. So these are all the process. Here is the disk, network, GPU and the sensors. So I'm going to keep it like a CPU, and also it's better I keep it on like a RAM. So I'm going to keep it on RAM and I'm going to open the internet browser. I'm going to show you all the information like what it is based on and the version of the Xfce and all those things as soon as we see the official website and also downloading process. So we get the Chromium browser or the Chrome browser in the Linux Lite, which is from past few years. So you don't get the Firefox web browser. So let it open because Chrome going to take a lot of time. You already know that. Even if you have like a 64 GB of RAM, it's going to consume a lot of RAM. So Chrome is well known for the consuming a lot of RAM. So let's wait for a few more seconds. So I don't think it's better to wait for it. Let's open the terminal and type in some commands to get some distro information instead of waiting for the Chrome browser. Let's type in neofetch. Hit enter. So there is some sound from the Linux distro. So here you can see the Linux Lite kernel version, uptime is 7 minutes, packages 2333 dpkg, shell bash version 5.2.1, resolution of my monitor 1920 into 1080, desktop environment Xfce. Here is the themes, icons, terminal font, my CPU i5 1240p, the RAM 1332 MB. So let me type in INXI -SV8. So still now we are not seeing our browser open, so let's go through all the other things. Before that, let me check the terminal information. So you get the 1.1.3 version. So let me change the background of the terminal so you can see everything properly. Let me keep it like a solid color and load preset which is black and white. So it's okay now. So host, let's first go with the system. The host is a Linux because I'm running it on the live boot. If we have any account or user account, you should be seeing the information of your name here. The kernel version 6.8, 64-bit, and desktop environment Xfce 4.18.1. GTK version is 3.24.41, and the Lite DM version is 1.30.0. Distro, it says as a Linux Lite 7.2 LTS, and it's based on Ubuntu 24.04.1 LTS Noble Numbet, which I already mentioned. So you should be seeing same years of support because it's a LTS. And I already made a video on Ubuntu 24.04.1 LTS, which is a point update. I mentioned everything in that video. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out in my channel. And this is some virtual machine information. I don't consider it as important, so I'm just going to skip that part. Available RAM is 7.71 GB, used is 945 MB. And here is our CPU, which I already mentioned like 2 times, so I'm just going to skip it. Here are all the vulnerabilities, which is not important. Let's go to the graphics part. VMWGFX version is 2.20, and display X11 already mentioned. Xorg version is 21.1.11, and here is the OpenGL version 4.3. Mesa version is 24.0.9. And let's go to the audio information. Here is the ELSA version. So this is the network, drives, partitions, unmounted, and all those things, which is unnecessary for the video, so I'm just going to skip all those things. So process running right now 309, uptime is almost 8 minutes. Init systemd version is 255, GCC version is 13.2.0, shell bash version already mentioned, INXI is 3.0.38. So let me type in cat /etc /issue. So Linux Lite 7.2 LTS. So there is no release notes or any information in the official website. So as soon as any information is available, I'm going to provide everything in the description. But we are going to open and check all the applications on our own. Let's see what are the changes. So if you're already using the Linux Lite 7 version or 7.1 version, you should be easily seeing changes. And you can let me know in the comment section, because I'm not using the Linux Lite as my main operating system. So I tried to open again the Chrome browser, it's not going to work, but let's check all the other applications or other settings. So again, same thing you see in the panel or the desktop. So these are all the same desktop features: language, English, internet connection. Here are the updates, package update indicator. So I don't think there is any updates right now. So if you want to use mobile connection, you can do it. Here is a command for installing updates. If you want to refresh cache, like you can choose the dates here. Let's check about the desktop settings and appearance and all those things. Let's go with the desktop. So here you should be getting a bunch of wallpapers. So if you want, you can change whatever you want here. So let's see how many wallpapers you get in the Linux Lite. So these are all the wallpapers, around like 20-22 wallpapers. So I'm going to keep this one. So this looks pretty much good. Here are the menus, icons, everything is same. And what else we see in the applications? So let's see what pre-installed applications you get in the Linux Lite 7.2. Like a GIMP, which is an image editor, and the Linux Lite applications, and some Xfce desktop environment applications. So these are all the applications you get pre-installed in the Linux Lite 7.2. Most of them are from the Linux Lite itself, and some are from the Xfce desktop environment. So you get a bunch of applications. If you consider it as a bloatware, you can call it as a bloatware. If you consider it as important applications, you can call it as like a normal Linux distro. So these are all the things you see. So the browser is not still opening, so I don't think it's going to work. So I'm just going to keep everything like that. And let's check some applications. Let's check the appearance. So you get some themes here, like a few themes from the Linux Lite. This one is a Lite version, compact, the dark version, again the compact, materia, and other are which is pretty much same like in every Xfce desktop environment. So I'm going to choose this one. On the icons, you get some icons pack here. You can change whatever you want here. If you want to add, you can add from the file manager. And the fonts, these are all the fonts you get. Settings, these are the settings. If you want window scaling 2x, you can change. Everything will be like a bold. Let me show you that. So like this. So it's pretty much can't use anything. So let's change it to the 1x. So that's the difference between 1x and 2x. And what else left? Let's open the installer. So there is no changes in the installer. Let's open and see whether there is any change or anything like that. So this is just a point update. We should see the release notes that what are the changes. Mostly the applications should be updated and maybe some bugs fixes should be fixed. But right now there is no release note or anything like that. So I'm going to provide as soon as anything is available. So if I can't provide anything in the description, I'm going to pin it in the comment section. So you don't need to worry about anything. So again, the language selection, let's click on continue. If you're a normal user, it's better to stay away from this ISO file because it's a release candidate. There will be sometimes some issues. So it's better to stay away from this type of ISO files, whether it's an unstable beta version or the RC. So always wait for the stable ISO file. And here you can see there is a software update available. Let's see what it is. So here you should be seeing the updates. Let me open it. install updates. Let me click on continue. So the keyboard layout. So here in the background everything is updated. Errors occurred while fetching packages cache information list. So here is the information. So let's close it and let's continue with the installation. Choose your language here. If you want, you can detect your keyboard. Click on continue. So it's going to take a few seconds here. And about the panel, same things. Are you sure that you want to remove this operator? I don't want to remove. I removed somehow. It's okay. Download updates while installing Linux. Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware and additional media formats. So if you want to check this, you can check this. It's clearly up to you. Continue. So it's going to take like a 30 to 40 seconds for preparing the Ubuntu drivers. So let's check some panel information. So Xfce panel 4.18.4, and here is the panel preference. So it is shocking that usually it would take like a 30-40 seconds, but we already have our installation type. So basically this option is like a single boot option and this is like a dual boot options. If you don't know how to install the Linux distro on the virtual disk or the hard disk, it's better to watch some tutorials in the YouTube. So if you ask me, I never made a specific installation tutorials videos. I made a videos complete like a covering like a features, terminals, desktop wallpapers, everything in that video. So my videos will be a bit lengthy also, 30-40 minutes video. So that's the reason I'm not going to recommend to watch my videos of installation, because you don't need to watch a video complete just for the installation. So it's better to watch some short videos like a 1 or 2 minutes videos which are available in the YouTube. And also I don't really remember in which video I installed it on the hard disk or a virtual disk, because I made like a 3000 videos. It's pretty much very hard to remember anything. So on the erase disk you should be seeing advanced feature like this. So if you want to use as a single boot, you need to go with this option. It's going to erase whatever it's available in that specific installation drive, whether it's photos, medias, music, whatever it is, it's going to delete everything, and it's going to install Linux Lite 7.2 in that specific drive. And something else is the option, you need to create a partition before choosing this option, and you can install it in that specific partition. And also you should be seeing dual boot options or a dual operating systems in the boot menu. And there is some issues in the dual boot because there was some recent issue. So if you want to get information, you need to do your research, because there was some issues. I got information that, so it's better to get all the information about the dual boot if you want to do the dual boot, and if you're satisfied, then go with the installation. And also this is a release candidate ISO file, so I don't recommend you to try it in the main disk or a main PC or a work PC. It's better to try it in the virtual boxes or a virtual machine, which is a VMware virtual box like that. So when you click on continue, you need to create a user account, like a username, password and all those things, which is pretty much same in every operating system and also in every Linux distro. So the installation process will take like a 20-25 minutes. If you have like a good end PC, it should be very quick. If you have like a low end PC, it's going to take a bit more. And also it depends on the ISO file. If it's a stable ISO file, everything will be working and installed properly in 99% of cases. But in a beta version, release candidate or unstable version, there will be some cases like there will be installation may fail, and also the installation may crash, like this type of things happens. So that's the reason I always recommend you to download the stable ISO files. So here is our panel preference. Here is the appearance. If you want to customize, you can customize. I kept everything as a default. Here is the items. If you want to add your items, you can add like a separator and all those things. So here is the separator. If you want to remove, you can remove. So I'm going to close everything. So we got all the information from the panel, I guess. So let me do a stress test by opening all the applications. But before that, let's check other things. So if you ask about the system requirements, right now the browser is not working. I'm going to provide everything in the description because the Chrome browser is not properly opening, but I'm going to give you all the system requirements of the Linux Lite. So there is also every information in their official website itself. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out, or else I'm going to provide it in the description. So we already saw the appearance, desktop, and the file manager settings. It's clearly customization things. So if you want to customize, you can customize even by going into the file manager. Here are the notifications. I kept everything as a default, so I didn't change anything. And about the panel, we recently checked everything. Let's get back. So text editor settings, everything as a default, nothing changed here. Window manager, keyboard, focus and advanced, and the window manager tweaks. So if you want to change anything, you can change according to your wish. So I kept everything as a default. All settings. Here is the workspace. If you want to add the workspaces, you can add. If you want to remove, you can remove. Here are the margins. The Xfce screensaver. Sorry, I'm a bit of a tired because I already made like 3 videos today. So that's the reason my words are also stuttering bit. So this is my last video today. So try to ignore some mistakes throughout the video if you feel anything wrong there. So color profiles, everything is same. Display, my monitor is 1920x1080. I kept 1x scale. Refresh rate is 60 Hz. Here are the advanced settings. So everything is default. High DPI settings. So I kept everything. Keyboard. So if you want to change, you can change the keyboard. This is my keyboard, so I kept everything as default. And the mouse and touchpad. If you want to change anything, you can change here. Behavior. If you want to change the theme, you can change the theme itself. And here are the devices. If you want to pointer speed change, you can change it. And about the power manager, I kept everything as a default. So here is the default settings. Removable drives and media. So here you can see everything. Let's go back. Accessibility, keyboard, mouse, default application. If you have like a multiple application, you can change it to the different browser. And here is the mail client, which is Thunderbird. So I can install the Firefox, but I kept everything. Let's try to install later if there is any time like that. But this is a release candidate version, so I really don't want to go through all those things, because as soon as the 7.2 is released or the beta version is released, I need to make another video. So that's the reason. So these are all these changes you see. So here are all the applications which I already showed you. So let me do a stress test by opening a bunch of applications. So let's open the GIMP. Let's even open the file manager. Under system, we don't have anything. Let's open the package manager. Here is some system information. Let me open and check that system information. Under office, let's even open the LibreOffice. Let's see what version we get in the LibreOffice. And in the multimedia, you should be getting VLC media player. In the internet, you should be seeing the Thunderbird mail client. And graphics we already opened, so let me open image viewer also. I think we are good. Let's check the system monitor. So it's consuming like 2.3 GB. And what about the CPU? So CPU is pretty much, so here you should be seeing a high graph because we are opening all the applications at once, so that's the reason you should be seeing all the graph higher. But after opening all the applications, you should be seeing every graph of the CPU should be stable. So there are still applications opening in the background, so let it open. So let's keep an eye on the CPU and monitor. RAM 2.5 GB, available is 5.2 GB. So here you should be seeing again the graph down. So it's going downwards again because everything is opened in the background. So let's try to switch the applications. So in the beginning there was like a minor delay or kind of lag, but right now everything is working fine. So I don't see any issues. But even if we don't see any issues, it's a release candidate ISO file, so it's better to stay away from the release candidate. You can try it in the virtual machines, there is no issues. You can try it in the live boot. Don't try to install it on as like a main PC or a work PC. So if you're already having a good stable Linux running already in your system or in your PC, it's better to wait for the stable version, and you should be seeing all the update information and all those things. So you can switch all the applications, there is no lag. So let's go to all the applications. So let's try to see the software store or anything like that. So there is like a kind of software store in the Linux Lite. Let's open the Lite software. So it should take few seconds. Would you like to update software sources now? It is recommended to always update software sources before installing applications. Let's try to update it. Let's see whether the update is going to happen or it's going to crash. Again, you should be seeing updating sources has failed. Install software. Okay. Let it open. So here is the Firefox. Let's try to install. The following software has been selected. Firefox. Do you want to proceed with the installation? I want to install. I can install it from the terminal, but I don't want. I want to do it like this. So VLC media player. Let's check the applications and let's wait for the Firefox. So the VLC version you should be getting 3.0.20. And about the Thunderbird, whether we get a Nebula or a Supernova. Let's check the version. So it's a Supernova 115. So the Nebula version is 128. Here is the file manager. I already showed you the settings and all those things. Here is the file system. If you want, you can go and check all the files if you want, like a user, or you can edit the preference and change the preference. It's clearly up to you. You can customize according to your wish. So let's close it and let's check the LibreOffice version. About the LibreOffice, you should be getting 24.2.6.2. So it's not the latest version. The latest version should be like a 24.08, something like that. Let's close the browser or the LibreOffice. Here is the shortwell. Let's check the about 0.32.6. I'm showing this all the information because there will be some changes, or maybe some of the users want to see what applications or what are the updated applications. So that's the reason I'm going to show you in every video, because I want to cover everything in the video. So that's the reason my videos will be a bit lengthy also. I don't want to just show you simple things and I'm not going to end the video. I want to show you everything what is available in that distro. So if I forgot anything, do let me know in the comment section. Here is the GIMP 2.10.36. And here is some system information. So already mentioned Linux Lite 7.2, CPU, the RAM, motherboard, graphics, storage. Here is the summary. And here is the operating system, kernel modules. So if you want to get the Linux kernel versions, you can just type in like a Linux kernel. The first link will be the official website. You can check the information from there. File system, displays. So if you don't know how to check, you can watch my previous videos of Fedora or something like a Fedora 41 beta, which is today's video. You can watch there. I showed you how to check the Linux kernel versions and all those things. So here is the display, environment variable, development, users, group, the processor, memory, PCI device. So there are a lot of information here. You can get all the information. Let's close it. So it's still taking a few seconds here. The process running right now. So these are all the process running right now. And the users. So again, it's going to take few seconds. Here is the startup. everything same. Services, the system. So we got all the information. So here is the Python 137. Python version is 3.12.3. Let's keep it on the performance. Let's check the RAM. So again, it's going to take few more seconds, so I don't think I should wait for it, because sometimes it's going to install, sometimes there will be some issues. And let's check other things like Linux Lite applications or the pre-installed applications. Like here is Linux Lite sound, here is the light sources. So you can choose whatever mirror you want here. So the country of origin of Linux Lite is New Zealand, and it's based on Ubuntu 24.04.1 LTS Noble Numbet. So Ubuntu Noble Numbet has like a 5 years of support until 2029. So what else we have here, like a light upgrade, here is the tweaks, and also I see some theme manager. Let me see what it is. All applications. So there is something called like a theme manager here. There is also desktop. Let's also see that. Here is the theme manager. Browse for theme online, install new theme, remove theme. So let's try to install a new theme. To install a new theme, icon set. So you need to download it. Let's close it. Let's browse for themes online. However, the Chrome browser is not working. Okay. Let's check other things. All applications. Linux theme manager, Linux software. Let's open Lite desktop. So here is enable or disable things. So I'm just going to keep everything like that. And let's check the light tweaks. So here if you want to change anything, you can change it. So I'm just going to quit it. So I think I'm going to end the video because nothing is trying to download here. So I'm just going to close and end the video. So these are all the changes you see in this release candidate version. So as soon as the release notes is available, I'm going to provide it even in the description or even in the comment section, wherever it's possible. So this is how it performed throughout the video, and the internet is not working. I tried it. There was some issues, like I was trying to update, but there was like a failed options on all the pop-ups. So I don't know the internet is working or not. It's better to wait for a few more days and we should be seeing the beta version or the stable version. So the RAM is almost like a 2.8 GB. CPU is like this, pretty much stable. So thanks for watching. Let me show you the logout screen and I'm going to end the video. Let's log out. And that was the sound from the Linux Lite itself. You already know you're using the Linux Lite. So let's more seconds, and if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. So here is the user credentials. For the password and all things, it's better to go to the official website and get all the information. So here is the accessibility, language selection, and that's it. Date and time. So thanks for watching. Peace out.